Hello, everybody. Hello, partners. I'm Kenneth Copeland. As you already know, I am very, very passionate about this country in which we are so blessed to be a part of. Today is Memorial Day, and this Memorial Day message, it's different than the ones that we've had in the past. Because essentially, this is World War III. It is a world epidemic, a pandemic. But our God is more than enough. Let me remind you of something. It's the soldier. It's the sailor. It's the Marine. It's the airman. The United States Air Force, Naval Air, Marine Air, glory to God. All of them. All the men and women that we're remembering. I was born December the 6th, 1936. Well, I'm ahead of myself. Let's talk about the soldier first. What does God have to say to the soldier? Numbers chapter 32, verse 20. And Moses said unto them, if you will do this thing. Now remember, Moses is God's voice to Israel. He wrote this in the presence of God. If you will do this thing, if you will go armed before the Lord to war, and will go all of you armed over Jordan before the Lord, until he hath driven out his enemies before him, and the land shall be subdued before the Lord. Then afterward you shall return. This is the soldier's promise, and it is as good today as it ever was. You shall return and be guiltless before the Lord and before Israel, and this land shall be your possession before the Lord. It's the soldier. My dad was born in 1904. His older brother was born in 1900. My dad was one of seven. He was the third. My Uncle Tone was the oldest. My Uncle Glenn was the second. And my dad was next. And I could go on and name off all of them. There were 5 boys and 2 girls. Now, I had someone send me this just a few days ago. This is my Uncle Dale, and this is my dad. My dad was born in a little Texas town called Coleman. Just for this today, I looked it up yesterday. There's still less than 5,000 people in Coleman, Texas. Now, I have no idea. It was a little spot in the road in 1904. But this is my Uncle Dale, born in 1900. Uncle Dale, when you're 14, World War I starts. He was a sailor in World War I. And because of his mama's prayers, he came home. Glory to God. World War I starts and ends on your 18th birthday, with 22 million people killed. Later in the year, a Spanish flu epidemic hits the planet. Listen to me. Hits the planet and runs until you're 20. 50 million people die from it in those 2 years. 50 million. When you're 20, the Great Depression begins. Unemployment hits 25%. Global GDP drops 27%. That runs until you're 33. This is talking about my dad and my uncle. Now, I'm born at 36. My dad never went 24 hours without a job. But I'm not talking about my dad. Thank God for him. And praying mothers like his and mine. I'm talking about the soldier. But listen to this. That runs, the Great Depression runs till you're 33. The country nearly collapses along with the world economy. When you were 39, World War II starts. You aren't even over the hill yet. And when you're 41, the United States is fully pulled into World War II. Between your 39th and 45th birthday, 75 million people perish in the war, and the Holocaust kills 6 million. At 52, the Korean War starts, and 5 million perish. At 64, the Vietnam War begins, and it doesn't end for many years. 4 million people die in that conflict. Approaching your 62nd birthday, you have the Cuban Missile Crisis, a tipping point in the Cold War. Life on this planet, as we know it, was about to end in nuclear war. As you turn 75, the Vietnam War finally ends. Think of everyone on the planet born in 1900. How do you survive all of that? A kid in 1985 didn't think their 85-year-old grandparent understood how hard school was. Yet those grandparents, my daddy, your daddy, your grandparents, survived through everything listed above. Perspective is an amazing art. Let's try and keep things in perspective. Let's be smart, help each other out. We'll get through all this. In the history of the world, there has never been a storm that lasted. This too shall pass. Think about all the soldiers, the sailors, the Marines, Coast Guardmen, merchant mariners. And then World War II, the airmen. Well, World War I, the airmen got started. United States Army Air Corps. Then later it turned into the United States Air Force. Thank God. It was the soldier that gave his life so this country could be free, worship God. So the red, white, and blue could fly in freedom. Every generation has to be retaught. Well, Brother Copeland, that was the greatest generation. Well, it was a great generation. America is great again and becoming stronger every day. Little did I know last October when the word of the Lord came to me and said there would be great change in 2020. I had no idea. Of course, neither did you. But he also said great miracles and manifestations of power. Memorial Day is very special to me. I was in the Army in 1957, and I got cheated out of a war. I wanted to give my life for my country. I'm still giving it for my country. I love Jesus of Nazareth. I love Gloria Jean Copeland better than I love my own life. And I love this country better than I love my own life. And let me tell you something, partner. I love you that way. Well, I won't go any further with this at this time. Have a wonderful, blessed, marvelous, thrilling, happy Memorial Day. One more thing. I want to remember Lieutenant Alton L. Owens, Buddy Owens, my mother's brother, who could have come home, made it all the way through Normandy and beyond, had the $1 million wound, took a machine gun bullet in the neck. They could send you home. He said, no, I'm not going. Can't do that. As a little boy, I was there in Littlefield, Texas, when they brought him back with my grandmother and my grandpapa and my mama and my daddy. I salute you, Lieutenant Alton L. Owens, on this Memorial Day. God bless you all and keep you, because Jesus is Lord.